Hey everybody, it's Stephanie. Welcome to my channel. I am really excited about this video today. We're going to be testing Revlon Colorstay Skin Awaken with caffeine and vitamin C. It's 24-hour 5-in-1 concealer, and this is the shade Universal Brightener. I saw this at the grocery store the other day and I said, we'll see about that. I'm going to be using this NYX the Marshmallow primer. I bought this last year. I've used it a couple times. I couldn't figure out what the point of it was, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it another try and use it today and see how I like it. Really pay attention this time. So I added a little to my face, patted it in. I'm going to let it sit there, have a sip of tea, and then come back. I've come to a place when it comes to primers, I used to look forward to it blurring pores and fine lines and, you know, creating a better canvas for my face as far as that goes. That never works. However, I am finding that the right primer does set my face really nicely, moisturizes it a little better, and makes my skin more ready for foundation. So I'll take that. So we're going to start off here with this L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation in the shade Creamy Natural. I'm going to apply it with a sponge today, using a damp sponge to move it around my face a little bit. Just a little note about drugstore makeup and foundations. I'm amazed at how well drugstore can compete with department store and high-end. Back in the day when I was working, I would buy whatever foundation I wanted, and it was never drugstore, only because of my experience with it sitting in my lines and wrinkles and breakouts. So in the last couple months since I've been using makeup again and testing it, I gotta say, drugstore has really upped its game. Okie, we're gonna go in now with this concealer. Not gonna lie, guys, I tried it a couple days ago, tried to make a video with it, and it was a fail because I was sitting in front of my window. It was too late in the day. I started to lose sunlight and I said, forget it. Let you see what the sponge applicator looks like when it's clean. So it has a really nice little sponge applicator. You squeeze the tube gently to allow the product to come to the surface, and then I just tapped it in. I lined the area under my eyes where I have dark circles. So this concealer automatically scored points with me in the gentleness of the application. And I apply as much concealer under my eyes as I can without overdoing it because I've got formidable dark circles. And I did not do any color correction because I wanted the concealer to not have to compete with that. I'm using a Farmasi Pro concealer brush here to spread it out a little bit. I'm just tapping it in. Before I found color correction was necessary for dark circles, I was using brightening concealers, high-end brightening concealers, and I found that my dark circles just blared right through that concealer. So when I saw this, I was like, let's give it a shot. Just using a Farmasi beauty sponge here to sheer it out just a little bit more. Maybe I'm not that hard to impress, but I'm telling you, this concealer, for a brightening concealer, it is amazing. Yesterday, when I applied this initially in front of my window with regular light from outside, this is how it looked in natural light. And I was so excited about it yesterday at the ability of this concealer to disguise not only my dark circles, but to brighten my face. So I'm impressed. I'm loving it. Went ahead and decided to try this on the deep folds between my nose and my mouth. Just applying a little bit down there, and then I'm going to take a sponge to sheer it out and see how well it can cancel those shadows. I've been testing concealer on my eyelids to use as primer, and I already knew how this was going to turn out because I did it yesterday and I absolutely loved the outcome. I applied it with my finger at first, and then I went in with this Farmasi Pro concealer brush and spread it out a little bit. And in advance, I will tell you, I let it sit there for a little bit, and I waited before I did anything else to it because I wanted to see if it would crease. At this point, there was no creasing under my eyes. There was no creasing on my eyes at this point. I was still letting it rest and decided to go ahead and add a little bit more concealer in those folds on my face. I thought this concealer did a fine job with that area of my face, but I think that I prefer a more matte concealer to contour that area, and maybe something that's a little bit more of a yellow tone versus this brightening. Okay, going in with some e.l.f. loose setting powder here using my Dollar Tree beauty sponge. These little mini finger beauty sponges. I highly recommend these. It's probably the best $1.25 you'll ever spend as far as a beauty tool. At this point, the concealer still wasn't creasing on my lids, but I decided to add a little bit of powder anyway because I was getting ready to do some eyeshadow. Folks, if you've been enjoying my video content, would you consider subscribing and maybe even give me a thumbs up? I don't want to sound cheesy, but thought I'd ask. All right, so here we are. A couple hours later, I wanted to go in and see if there was creasing. I didn't see any creasing. Do you see any creasing? All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.